Welcome. You are now tuned in to the Expert Advice for Men podcast. For more information, visit us at www.expertadviceformen.com. And here is your host, Billtown Radley.
Hey guys, we've gotten so much positive feedback from our Side Hustle Session series. In this episode, we explore a wildly popular side hustle, one which I did myself throughout my college years. We are going to talk about DJing. We've got Warren Van Patten, aka DJ Dilemma, from Seattle, Washington. Warren is a veteran DJ with over 25 plus years of experience in the audio and DJ industry. Warren is one of those rare DJs able to understand old school vinyl DJing from the past and embrace the old school techniques with today's modern technology and equipment. Warren is experienced in all DJ venues from mobile DJing to nightclubs, concert events, and is currently an on-air mix DJ for two Seattle radio stations, 88.9 KMIH, The Bridge, and Seattle's #1 hip-hop station, KUBE 93 FM. Warren is here to talk about the DJ profession, as well as keeping up with technology and how you can stay relevant in your line of work, regardless of what career path you hold. This is a great episode for aspiring DJs and veteran DJs alike. So without waiting any longer, here is another Side Hustle Session on the Expert Advice for Men podcast. We've got Warren Van Patten, aka DJ Dilemma from Seattle, Washington, in the house today. Now Warren, or what we like to call him Wally to his close friends, is a veteran DJ with over 25 years experience in the audio and DJ industry. Now, Warren is here to talk about the DJ profession as well as keeping up with technology and how you can stay relevant in your line of work regardless of your career path. Now, good morning, Warren. Or I'll call you Wally, man. I've known you.
It's all good.
Now,
I don't mind. That's a name that a lot of people nowadays don't really know unless you're really close to me. And we've been friends a long time. So,
right. So I can remember way back the first time I saw you at Nightclub. In my head, I mean, I'm getting old myself, but it was probably Beso del Sol.
Yep. Beso del Sol. Yeah.
And that had to have been like 99 or 2000, 2001, somewhere around that time frame.
Yeah, exactly. That was actually like my return to DJing after taking a little bit of a hiatus. So.
Okay, awesome. So our listeners have a bit of context and can better relate to your story. We ask all our guests your age.
I'm 48 and just turned 48.
All right. Yeah, that's right. I saw you went out to Alaska cruise, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm 42 myself, so everybody has a little context of our interview. Now, tell us a bit about your background. Where are you from originally?
I'm from San Francisco originally. The parents moved us up here when I was in high school. So I've been here a long time. We moved up here in Seattle probably about 1985. So we've been here a long time.
Okay. And what inspired you to become a DJ, and what year was it?
So what inspired me to become a DJ was really, I just love music, and I love how music really moves people. So back in the day, I've always been in like hip hop. I was a break dancer and a graffiti writer, and DJing was a little bit less, there was less risk of getting in trouble from like writing on walls and doing stuff. So I put all my focusing into DJ probably when I was in high school around 86, 87 is when I started.
And you were one of the original, 86, 87. This is before, of course, internet and all this technology, iPhones, all that stuff. So.
Oh yeah, it was all vinyl. It was all records. You had to be a record collector, basically.
Where did you get your start as a DJ? Were you a mobile DJ, nightclubs?
So basically, back in the day, we had everybody wanted it to be in a mobile DJ crew and do parties and stuff. So I started in the bedroom and practiced and did everything. And then I went on to mobile DJing. I did a lot of birthday parties, and then I got into high school dances and weddings. We had a DJ crew called Beyond Ultimate Music Productions back in the day. It was our high school crew. We did high school dances and stuff like Ballard and Seattle Prep. And it was just a lot of schools we did. And that's what started it for me to really go and earn money.
And how much were you making per gig back in the day?
Ooh, back in the day, like when you first start, it's all obviously going to be very small. But when we were doing high school dances, it was like 150 to 300, and like weddings was $300 to $500. It wasn't like the mobile DJing is today. So we weren't making that much. It was cool, but clubs were. It's kind of weird because clubs were paying more back then,
Oh,
and
interesting.
mobile DJing was paying less. It was just kind of crazy.
Now, your equipment, did you have all your own equipment? Did you guys split equipment between your crew there?
So when we first started in high school, we did split up. We all each had equipment. We all had our own records, and we all kind of went in to get some speakers. We had to rent all the time when we first
Right.
started, yeah, until we got enough gigs and bought speakers. Actually, one of our friends, I think his grandparents helped us get speakers, and then we kind of paid it back. But it's just hazy because that was so long ago.
Yeah, where you are
Uh,
using those old wood grain speakers that used to come in the home stereo systems. I remember
oh
DJs
man,
way back in the day put them in your car trunk because that was the
oh
only
yeah.
vehicle you had.
Our equipment back in the day, it would take either a van and three cars, or and a big crew of people, because there's just so many record crates we'd bring. The speakers were so big. Nowadays you can just do it yourself. It's kind of crazy.
That's awesome. And we'll talk about that more of the technology stuff in a moment.
Yeah.
Now, is currently is DJing your only source of income right now?
It is not. So for 25 years I have been with King County in the court system. Basically, I've been a clerk. I'm still there. So my main income is through King County Superior Courts.
And that's why we were doing this sessions, this side hustle sessions as well, is that, I understood DJing also growing up. That was my source of income through college. It was great to
Right.
be able to work Friday and Saturday nights, make some good
Right.
money, $200 to $300 a night.
Yeah,
And
because you
then
did like Cube Street Team and mobile stuff, right? Is that
exactly.
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did Cube radio station, the radio station here, the hip hop station. They did their mobile gigs and some of their nightclubs on spot stuff. And I did a lot of mobiles on my own, and it
Right.
was great. Like I said, you work a couple days a week, make some decent money, and then
Yeah.
you can do your either go to school or you can also work full time your 9 to 5 job Monday
Oh
through
yeah.
Friday and still make money coming in both ways.
But it was kind of crazy because when I was younger, I tried to get a regular job, like going to school and stuff. I was working at Ross Dress for Less, right? And I saw the paycheck, and I was working really hard for a couple weeks, and my paycheck was nothing. And I was like, man, I could make way more in one night DJing than working 2 weeks at this store. So I quit.
Right. Yeah, and that's
You know,
what's the nice thing about it too is that I mean, people should realize also when they get into it, it is a business. Treat
yeah,
it treat
yeah.
it like a business and you will succeed in those ways. Now, in the beginning training, how did you learn to DJ? Did you do like a formal training program on the job, friends? How did you get learning with DJing?
So back in the day, there was no real formal DJing. I mean, what started was I had to get some turntables. So I got some cheap belt drive turntables, and I got a Radio Shack mixer, and I tried to learn that way because it's not like today you can get on YouTube and just get tutorials. So I had to learn how to beat match and do stuff on my own. And as I kind of got into it more and more, I got to know people, and I basically followed other mobile crews around and carried crates, speakers, helped them out, and learned how to do the setup and business stuff through them. And mentoring was a short-lived thing, but I learned kind of fast, and then I just started doing it myself.
Like no formal training is it required to becoming a professional DJ, say an on-air DJ?
Well, for on-air stuff, if you want to be on the board, on the radio and stuff, I think training's really good. But if you're going to do like mobile gigs or clubs or stuff, it's not needed to learn because of all the technology we have today. But it is good to learn under somebody, I think. I think that's a lost art of today's DJs is they're not coming up under somebody that can show them DJ etiquette, show them common courtesy towards others, teach the business, and just generally teach people how to be nice to other people. So,
Right.
it's really good to mentor under somebody that's way more experienced.
And that's a nice thing I've been realizing with doing these podcasts, interviewing great people like yourself, great entrepreneurs, and they say the same thing. It's like build that network, mentor people, be mentored, build those bridges, don't burn them.
Yep.
And that's how you make your connections and how the doors open up for you.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So let's talk about the formal classroom style training. Have you seen these online programs and what is your opinion on them?
There's a lot of places that have great online training, like the Beat Junkies, and they have great online tutorials that you got to pay. I don't know how much it costs, but I know you learn a lot of technique through them, but it's not like real life learning of the business. So like you can get all your techniques, but after that, it's hard to figure out the business aspect and how to get gigs or how to talk to promoters or, advertise yourself. So,
and I know there's things that you can only learn in the scene and actually doing it. Like you said, there's a lot of people think that you need to learn scratching techniques or different juggling techniques. I mean, it really breaks down to your mixes, how you program music, and how you make the promoter happy.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, a DJ should be somebody that could play for the crowd. Yeah, back in the day, DJing wasn't for you always. You always read the crowd. It's kind of like being a gladiator, I would say, because you go into the middle of the crowd, you play, and if you've lost the crowd, especially in a club scene,
right,
you've lost everything. So you have to be a good shot selector. The skills and the techniques that you learn, it'll just add to your own kind of personality as a DJ. It'll make you stand out different than everybody else. But I've known and seen other DJs that can't mix, but they pick the greatest songs and they have good timing with it and they do great. So, it really is about shot selection and being in the pocket as a DJ.
So tell us about your equipment now. Back in the day, it was turntables, records, and CDs. What is your current setup right now?
So for me, because I kind of am a DJ that does all the aspects of DJing, I have different setups for every situation that I need. If I'm going to do clubs like I did last night, I'm using turntables still with a program called Serato. If I do a wedding, I use a controller, which is basically it's something that emulates the turntables and it's smaller. And I use that because I can just plug and play. And at a wedding, they're not wanting to see you do all kinds of crazy stuff. So,
right,
it's more stable with the computer software that you use. And I still do vinyl. And then when we do like scratch events, we have little portable turntables. So I have a lot of equipment.
So you're doing everything from mobile. You're still doing all formats, basically.
Everything. And I'm in crews that help me get better in all formats because I'm always striving to get better.
That's awesome. And tell us about the Serato. So Serato, I know about it, but tell the people listening, it helps you use and manipulate vinyl, yet
right,
play the music through your computer.
Right. You play your music through your computer because it's a program that will emulate vinyl records. Even if you're using a control record, it'll emulate CDs or vinyl records. What it'll do is it'll assign a CD to a blank record or a blank jog wheel, whatever you're using equipment wise, and it will make it so that you can move the record back and forth. I guess it's not having to bring records, but you can do it without lugging a bunch of crates of records.
Yeah.
You just have your computer and you have your MP3s and it assigns the MP3 to a certain turntable. That's basically all it is.
And I remember that was one of those things that really I hated about mobile DJing back in the day is that you had to carry like 5 or 6 record crates and you had to. There was no other option if you didn't do CD mixing and you were completely all vinyl.
It definitely changed the game, whereas you can travel now and you don't have to lose your crates. We all know about losing vinyl crates.
Right.
Or you don't break your back carrying just crates and crates of vinyl, which was really heavy.
I could also imagine some of the nightclubs nowadays, the DJ booths are very small and you
Oh
just don't
yeah.
have room for that stuff. Now you could put your
Uh,
laptop and your Serato and you're good to go, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of a good thing that it's small too, because then there's not a whole bunch of room for people to try to get into the DJ booth and kick it, and you can really get busy and do your work. So
Right, yeah.
yeah.
And I remember those days. And we'll talk about those kind of pros and cons about the DJing industry
Oh
here.
yeah.
Now, for someone starting off with the equipment you recommended, about how much, would they expect to spend, and what type of equipment should the mobile DJ or the bedroom DJ, somebody first starting out learning, what should they pick up first?
Honestly, most people will want to get into DJing because they see all the like, ooh, you can be up there in front of everybody and you can perform and do all this, but they don't really understand what they're getting into. So I would pick up a small like Pioneer DJ controller and play with it first. They're like $250. It's something easy to get into. It's got a little intro to Serato license, and you can start playing. Now, if you get serious into it and you want to learn, I really would advise people to get turntables and a mixer, and so you can learn the basic feels of stuff.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with learning. It's a new generation. There's nothing wrong with learning and only staying on a controller. But if you really want to get funky with it and really want to take it further, at least have a set in your home so you can practice. And then you can gig out with the controller or whatever. But I would really recommend practicing on turntables.
So you can get into it for around $250 with the music you already have on probably your iTunes or at home already.
I mean, you could get cheaper stuff, but it's just not going to teach you anything really. It's not, the feeling's not there. So
Right. And that's what I think about with a lot of things is that if you're going to do something and you want people to invest in you, you want them to hire you. In
right.
turn, you have to make a bit of an investment there. Nothing is free, and you have to make an investment in your equipment and your training, whether it's DJing or pretty much anything business
You
wise.
got to invest in yourself, right? So that's the only way you can win.
And now, do you currently have a resident bar, nightclub spot right now?
I don't right now because like radio takes up a lot of my time. I have a 2.5-year-old daughter. She takes up a lot of time. It's all the family life at home. Also, I just like to pick and choose the gigs that I want to do because I'm in a space where I get offered a lot of gigs, and I just like to do the ones that are fun for me and challenging for me. So
Okay. Now, you, of course, with all your experience, I'm sure, and your connections that you've made over the years, even last night, you're saying, "Hey, Radley, I'm at a DJ gig right now. I'll make sure to message you in the morning. I'll be awake, ready to go," which I appreciate.
yeah.
So how would you, as you were starting off, say you've got the skills, you've learned the DJ thing at home, and now how would you go about if you were starting right now getting nightclub spots?
Basically, if you want to be in the nightlife, you got to be in the nightlife, right? So you got to frequent the spots. You got to get to know the owners and promoters and however they advertise their spots, and or if it's a head bartender that's hiring the DJs, you got to really get to know who's in the who at the nightclub and offer to open up.
Right.
Offer to open up for free, because back in the day, we used to carry records into the club just so we can play like 15, 20-minute set. And then once they see that you got skills, they'll definitely promote you and start paying you for what you're worth. But you got to pay your dues, especially to the club DJs that are big now. You got to build your name up if you want to really get into the limelight.
Right. And you touched on a bunch of good points right there that people should learn about is number one, paying your dues. We live in a society that is so fast food, microwaved, everything. We want results right away. Whereas just like you said, I remember carrying crates for other DJs, opening up for them for free. And what that does is, like I said, is build those connections. I mean, people can't expect to be brand new right off the scene and make top dollar like a person like yourself who's 25 plus years into it. So it is really good to make sure, make your connections, get some spots, make some friends, and then go from there. So how did you get, and this was really cool to me because you've been doing this so long, and that's one of the reasons why I had you on, is because with technology, things changing, you just still evolved and pivoted and just kept with it. How did you get into on-air radio DJing?
So way back in the day, we were, I've always wanted to get onto on-air DJing. That was a thing before streaming. If you were on air You were heard by a bigger audience than just the nightclub, than just the party here or wedding there. So I really wanted to get into radio, and I've always passed out demos to radio stations and did stuff. But the breakthrough was around 2002, 2003. Like I said, it's a little hazy because it was a while ago. I was in a group with a lot of big name DJs called the Seattle Tastemakers, and they were saying the KUBE was hiring and they were trying out. So I tried out, I bombed. I listened to my demo and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't deserve to be there then, but I kind of felt like I was cursed from KUBE because I never get the shot over there. And I made a new demo and I made it really dope and I sent it to a radio station called X104. And back in the day, they did all hip hop, all underground, all old school. And I sent a demo. I still have that demo and I'm proud of that to this day. A DJ named DJ Arson, he had left to go from X104 to KUBE. And that's kind of the spot I felt. And, me and Arson are friends and shout outs to him. He always told me, oh yeah, you can do this. So I basically made that demo and then got a shot. They aired my stuff, or they asked me for another mix and they were going to air it on a Saturday night. And I heard that and I was like sprung. After that, they hired me on permanently. And now the radio station went through a bunch of changes. It went, it was hot jams afterwards. And now it's The Bridge, which is not hip hop at all. But I stayed with them because they've always been good to me. So
this is a kind of a personal question. I still remember working with them. There's a gentleman named Eric Powers. Do you remember Eric Powers? I mean, great.
I do.
Great guy. Beautiful on-air voice, everything. One of the pioneers of MCing in the Seattle area. He was a program director with KUBE.
Right.
Do you know? What is he doing now?
He is actually on that old school station. He's there now. What happened with KUBE and everything when they switched to Power and they got bought out by Clear Channel, then they got bought out by iHeart, everything kind of changed. I don't exactly know why, but I mean, that's not my business.
Right,
so,
yeah.
It's like they all changed. They got rid of pretty much everybody.
Interesting. Yeah,
so,
I was just
revamped everything.
Yeah, I was just curious about those people back in the days because it's been so long for me as well that you see these new names and new faces. I love the format that they're doing right now, and that's just generational. As time goes and generations goes, you're going to see new MCs, new DJs, and people go from there and transition. So let's break down for the people who are starting off, so they can get an idea of what they can potentially make for mobile DJing per gig. Say you're doing a high school gig. How much could one expect to make on a mobile DJ gig?
Okay, so mobile DJ gigs, like I don't do a lot of high school stuff. Last time I did one was, did I do one last year? That paid like $600.
Okay.
But like weddings are big ones, and it's hard to turn down the money because it's so good nowadays. I can charge anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500 for a wedding, and that's for people that I don't know, and it's all business. If I know people, it's obviously a different story because I was probably going to go to the wedding anyways, and then they'll get a big discount. But I also have help with me now too, so. For years, I used to do it all by myself, and it just got really hard because you're there by yourself. It turned into not being fun. And now that I'm in a crew, or I have a crew called the Northwest Portablists, we all just kind of team up and do weddings together, and it makes it way funner.
And this, for everybody listening, is also included in the price, is that you bring your own equipment, you bring all the lights, sound, you MC the event, from top to bottom.
That's way different from back in the day. Because back in the day, they would always hire an MC and you would really just DJ. You had to deal with all the vinyl records. You had to deal with so much going on. I could see it. But now with technology, everything's smaller. You can carry the speakers, you can fit them all in a Honda, right? You can fit all your speakers, all your equipment. It's easy. Now the wedding game is you're an MC, you're a wedding coordinator, you're the DJ, you're kind of everything. That's why you get paid more.
Now, when it comes to the nightclub scene, of course, all you have to bring is most likely your laptop and your Serato equipment. and maybe your mixer, if that's what you like. The club most likely has all this stuff. How much would you expect to make in the nightclub scene?
The nightclub scene is different. I mean, if you're a big name, you're obviously going to get your top dollar. If you're just a local DJ, what I've been running into a lot, and I can't talk for other DJs, it's, you can get paid anywhere. The bars will offer you $100, $75 to maybe 250. And this is DJing all night,
Right.
So a lot of times the money's just gotten a little lower. I'm only trying to pick gigs that are fun or will pay me,
Right.
because just a few years ago, maybe longer than that, like 10 years ago or whatever, I was still getting, $300 to $500 just to show up and play. But I think with the saturation of DJs, there's so many DJs now.
Right.
They can find DJs for less and play just the hot songs. Everybody's looking for something cheaper that'll kind of do the same, but it's not really the same because they sound like iPods to me. So
Right. Yeah.
there's no style. Back in the day, you could walk into a club and you didn't even have to look at the DJ booth. You'd know who's spinning just by his style. I walk into a place now, it's kind of hard to figure out. And so I'll look up at the DJ booth and then I'll know who it is, but it's usually somebody newer because a lot of the seasoned DJs or even young DJs that know their craft, they all have their own personality when they spin.
Right. No, I see that also. And I've ran into that even when I was DJing many years ago. Of course, the promoter wants to save money and they want to hire whoever they feel can do the job adequately for the right amount of money. Right.
Yeah.
But like you said, when there's a part, we used to call them back in the party rockers. I mean, these guys know the waves, the ebbs and flows of a nightclub and the dance floor, and they could tell. And like you said, music selection, that's what it was all about. Nowadays, it's like you have Spotify, you have all these YouTube that pre-programs playlists. But I remember a DJ when I came up used to tell me, you got to make the songs talk to each other. That's how you make the difference between a average DJ and a really good DJ who can rock the crowd is he knows or she knows how to make these songs connect and keep the crowd going and flowing. Like you said, have a personal style there.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really important because that kind of sets off your branding if you have your own style. If you sound like the next guy, they can hire the next guy for way cheaper.
Right.
So in order to command what you want to get paid, you got to have your own style and your own reputation of doing that style consistently.
Yeah,
so
that's an awesome point. Now, lastly, on-air DJing, not that you have to go into your personal contracts. I'm sure you have things with iHeartRadio and KUBE. What would one, ballpark figures expect to make once you get on air?
To be honest with you, the stuff that I do, like mix shows and everything, unless you're on every day, it's still an hourly fee. But like us that do once a week mix shows, we're treated more like interns, I believe, to where we get our mix shows put out. We get to have access to all the stuff that radio guys get, but we're really not paid. We're paid in advertising.
Oh,
so basically, we do these mixes. People know about them. We get more gigs out of them. Obviously we can get free music out of it, free. We want to work a show and we can go to those shows. So we get a lot out of it, but a lot of mix show DJs will not get paid very much or not get paid at all because you get way more in promotion.
Right. And that's what people should understand too. A lot of times when you do these gigs, it's not all about, hey, I have to make as much money as I can. Like you said, when you're doing on air, it's getting that experience and also making that part of your resume right there. You're an on-air DJ.
Exactly.
You know the industry more. That's awesome.
Yeah, and the game is so different now too that I could understand if like the guys that work every week, they go to the station a lot. And back in the day when I first started radio, you had to go to the radio station and upload your show and voice your show and do everything for it to air. And now, since technology's changed so much, I built a studio in my house and I could do a lot of stuff from my studio and just submit it that way.
So when it comes to your longevity, what would you credit your longevity in the DJ profession, 25 plus years?
Well, for me, it's all about being able to evolve and change with all the technology and also evolve and change with the music. I mean, I'm not going to be the grumpy old man saying, "Oh, man, back in my day, music was way better." It all evolves, and I actually enjoy music from back then to now. I just like how things are. I can accept certain things with new stuff and old stuff, and that's part of my thing about staying in the game. Also, I'm a people person. I know how to talk to people. I know how to get business. I know how to how things work. So I've evolved with learning how people do it over the years to keep business going.
So is there anything you in your 25 years you would have done earlier, or is there anything you would have changed or do differently?
I don't know. I've gone through it's kind of hard to tell what I would do differently. Right. I mean, I would definitely focus on a few more techniques that would help me out now because it's harder to learn. I definitely would not have let outside influences stray certain gigs. A lot of stuff I'm very happy with right now.
Yeah, it's hard not to be with 25 years of experience and doing every format still. That's awesome. And I would also, and personally, I could hear it from you. I'd credit your longevity. You genuinely like what you're doing. It's not a job to you. This is your passion. This isn't a job to you. This isn't you wake up and you're like, oh, I have to go and DJ today. No, I can hear in your voice. You're still going to the different spots, clubs. You're doing your gigs. You're doing your mobiling. You're doing your online stuff. And I really respect that.
Yeah, I still truly love it. I still truly love music. I still truly love performing. I'm really serious about it. I guess it shows when I'm out there.
So what separates, in your opinion, what separates the best DJs making the most money and getting the best gigs out there to the average DJ still trying to find that traction?
Well, a lot of the best DJs out there, they've made a personality out of themselves, right? So, because right now it's not really about who has the best technique or who has the records you can't find, because everybody can find stuff online nowadays. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right now, the best DJs, not technically, but the ones that are getting all the gigs and stuff, have a huge social media presence, right? I hate to say it, but they do. And even like social media influencers that I know they don't got the skill to be big, but they're getting big gigs for big money because they have a huge online presence. And that's a big deal nowadays. Right. They look at followers, they look at what you do online, and it just boosts it up for them.
Being involved with social media, staying relevant, and technology.
Or you can still battle. Battles are on a comeback. So like a lot of battle DJs have came out the woodwork, or even club DJs, because a lot like the Red Bull 3 style is more club friendly. So it's who could rock a party the best for 15 minutes with all the technical skills of DMC and everything. So you can make your name as a battle DJ and then go to the clubs and make some good money and travel. And that's what a lot of people want.
And finally, what piece of advice would you give others starting off and considering becoming a DJ?
The advice I'd say is if you love music, this could be for you. There's a lot of stuff to it. Get to know the equipment. There's a lot of things I could say. I mean, the biggest thing I could tell somebody if they're already DJing and they're just starting is be in the pocket. Know your role. Know where you are as a DJ right now, because you will get bigger later if you keep trying. So the biggest piece of advice is know your role, know what you do, and be courteous and be nice to people so that you won't burn bridges and you'll get more gigs, because that's an important thing. A guy that may fire you because he was a promoter for a small place now, later on, a few years later, he might be huge. And if you've burned a bridge, you won't get that gig.
Right.
So, that's my whole thing with that.
Awesome. So, hey, this has been a great interview and we appreciate all your answers. So we're coming toward this segment of our podcast known as the E4Q. And the E4Q stands for the 4 questions we ask all our podcast guests to get personal insight from those with different backgrounds and walks of life like yourself here. Now, question number 1, tell us a place you've traveled or an adventure that you've done that every man should experience once in their life.
Oh man, that one was a tough one for me. Just hearing it, like it's because I've been to a lot of places, and everything is great about every place. I mean, I've been all over. My whole thing is there's not really one place that I should go and experience. I think somebody or anybody should basically, if you can do it, experience it. And I always say your life is based on your experiences. So if you're able to go to Dubai, go. You know what I'm saying? If you're
Right.
able, because you won't know if it's great unless you've been there. So my thing is, I can't really pinpoint. There's a lot of places I really like for different reasons, but I would tell anybody just do it. If you're offered to go someplace, just do it. If I'm offered a gig anywhere, I'll do it just to see what it's like.
Right.
Maybe crap, maybe good.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Get out your comfort zone, right?
Yeah, get out your comfort zone and just experience life. Just be able to go and do stuff.
That's well said. Now, question number 2. What is a skill you possess or you wish you possessed that every man should possess?
Uh, I was just talking to my wife about this a little bit ago, but always growing up and through the years, I've always been able to find a way to make and earn money and earn. I don't know what it is. It's like every time I'm about to be stressed about money, a gig falls in my lap. Or back in the day, when I was an artist doing graffiti or doing other things, a project would come up and I'd be able to earn money and then go back to my job and be good. So it's a hustle that I think everybody should have, every man should have. Keep the hustle, keep the fire going, because if you just give it up, you're not going anywhere.
That's awesome insight. So, question number 3, give us an app on your phone that you feel every man should use.
This is another thing that everybody makes fun of me about. My internal GPS is not good. I get lost everywhere. I mean, I'm not good with directions. I'm not good at finding places. So the app on my phone that everybody should use, or I need to use all the time, is like Google Maps.
Right.
Get me directions. Get me someplace, because I don't know where this gig is. I don't know where I'm going. That's just something about me.
I remember DJing and they would give me some gig, out in like 100 miles away from Seattle, like in
Oh yeah.
Elma or something like that. And I was 19, 20 years old trying to find this place. And I still remember MapQuest. Do you remember printing out maps on MapQuest
Yeah,
back in the day?
Oh, I had a Thomas guide back in the day
Yeah.
to try to find something, man. So it was really hard. And, because you get sent to these gigs and you never go there
Right.
in the first place. So it's way out in BFE, and MapQuest was a savior. Like Thomas guides were great. AAA places would give you maps, and I just suck at finding places.
And I would add to that is something you said is in question number 1, just experience things. If you're a new and upcoming DJ, take those wild, weird gigs out of
Oh
your
yeah.
comfort zone in different cities, because I personally like that, because I would never travel there on my own
Yep.
as like
Exactly.
for leisure. So to go in a
Mhm.
city or a small town and connect with the people in that area because of a gig is like icing on the cake. You're already there. You
Yeah.
get to learn the area and you're going to go make some money out there.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you find stuff that you like in that little town or whatever, I've gone back to like be like, oh, I want to check this place out. I want to walk around, and kind of cool. This would be a little getaway.
Right.
So
And you would never know it other than being and taking that funny gig and then getting on Google and finding
yeah,
that spot. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, for real.
So question number 4, and this is our last question. What piece of advice right now would your older self give your younger self? Let's say, gosh, we're both in our 40s. Let's say 20 years ago, in your early 20s.
In my early 20s, I'm just going back to like gigs. I was highly influenced by people and to do stuff, and I never got gigs back. And that's especially for younger DJs now. Don't let anybody influence you. I would tell myself, do your job, do it right, don't mess around. I mean, we all party, we all do it, but I would tell myself to, I would have probably, certain gigs would have led to something else. Who knows? I mean, I might not be where I am. I might be worse. If I got those gigs, I might be better. But, what I would say for DJing, is keep your business tight.
All right, awesome. That's great advice. So, Warren, thank you for coming on to our show. Now, guys, be sure to follow Warren, aka DJ Dilemma, and that's D''LEMMA on Instagram. And we're going to have, all this stuff on our show notes. So you're on Instagram. You also have a YouTube channel.
Which I haven't really done much lately because I've been so busy. But basically everything that I have is DJ DLEMMA across the board.
And tell the audience about your online shows now. Where can they catch you and where can they listen to you on air?
So my podcasts, they're just regular DJ mixes and stuff that like on-air mixes, and that's all on the Podomatic streaming site. There's a Podomatic app. It also streams to iTunes if I can figure out how to do that. I've been on Podomatic since like 2005.
I'll help you out with that.
But, all my mixes are over there. I update every time I do something. I don't put all my radio shows up there because we have to play from a playlist on KUBE and it kind of can get all repetitious. So I'll do special mixes and everything out there. So that's my Podomatic.
And on air, you're on KUBE 93 FM in Seattle, and also the Bridge KMIH in Mercer Island on 88.9.
Yeah, so I'm on 88.9 FM in Seattle. There's the Bridge. There's an app for that radio station. I'm on Saturday nights at 10, and on KUBE, I'm on at 1 in the morning. So it's KUBE 93.3 FM. So.
Awesome. So thanks again, Wally, for your time.
Yeah, man.
And if you have any gigs coming up, let us know, and we'd love to promote you.
Actually, we are doing the Children's Folk Life at the end of the month. It's the crew that I helped create and am one of the admins on Facebook. It's called the Northwest Portablists. We're doing a showcase at Children's Folk Life. It's at the Seattle Center. I forgot what time. It's advertised on the Folk Life website. I think we're on at 1. And then after us, it's Fraggle Rock, and we're going to play breaks for them. They're an old school breakdance crew. Big shout outs to the Northwest Portablists, J Flex, Flip the Script, DJ Joints. We're all just doing showcases, and I got a bunch of other crews, but Scratch Pinoy's Goggle Crew, Pop Fresh. I can go on and on.
Awesome.
But, it's all good, man.
And I'll make sure we get those links on our website and all our social media formats. So, Warren, have a great day, and thanks again.
Yeah, man.
And we'd love to have you guys on. Again.
Yeah, and thank you very much. You're doing big things with this podcast. I'm really enjoying them. So keep up the good work.
Awesome. Much appreciated. Man, the more successful people I interview, they continue to cement the basics of being genuinely nice to people, making connections, and having real passion in the things you do. I agree. If you enjoy what you do, go about your business the right way, and are truly passionate about your craft, success generally comes naturally. Now, that's our show. Tune in again next time for another episode. And if you don't already know, go out there and make it happen.
Thank you for listening to the Expert Advice for Men podcast with your host, Belltown Radley. If you enjoyed our show, make sure to rate it 5 stars, leave a positive comment, and share it with your friends. Your support means everything. Until next time, this is the Expert Advice for Men podcast.